Hey, Sean. I'm not even close to the microphone. Come on, man. It was gonna be smooth tonight. Everything was gonna go so well. Instead, now we've got this in the shot. Hey, I've done this before. How are you? Hey, Sean. I wanted to talk tonight about the concept of saving our good ideas, our good projects, for some later time. And beyond the existential arrogance involved in thinking that we have more time and can therefore wait to work on our big project, there's just another piece of our own development. And as artists, we continue to grow. As artists, we continue to hone our craft. And I think for many people, their actual experience is that the more they create, the more they like what they create. And as we grow and develop, I think many of us look at our past work and say, that was good or not, but I'm better than that now. And I continue to get better. And I don't know anyone that I work with now, any creator, any artist who creates and says like, the best song I ever wrote was the one I wrote 10 years ago, or like, the best video I made was the one when I first got started. I made the best video, and then since then I just haven't been able to really create something I was proud of. And I think we forget that, and we start to say, well, I need to create something different, and I have this big idea, but I'm not skilled enough yet to do that big idea. Or like, I want to do all these projects so that way I'm ready. Like that's going to be my big one. That's going to be my best idea. So I want to save it until, and I think for most people, you do that and then you never, ever, ever do that project. And case in point, this stream, this video, I know is not going to get the views that like a normal upload on my channel gets. And not that I'm concerned about the performance of anything, but when I create something that I think is important, which I try to do every time, there is a part of me that says, I'm putting my experience into this, and I want it to resonate with somebody. And if I holster that, or if I put that in a spot where I know less people will see it, it seems like it matters less. And I know it doesn't, but that's where I go mentally of if this is important, I want as many people to see it as possible. And that's when I start to think, well, should I go clickbait with a thumbnail? Should I put a different title on it and be more sensational with it in an attempt to hook people? Because once they're in, I know that there is value in this content, even if I have to play the game a little bit to get someone to start watching the video. And so as I was thinking about this, which is something I've thought about before, I was like, well, if I'm passionate about this, if I really care about it, then I shouldn't do a live stream. I should do a regular video. And I realized that was such a self-fulfilling prophecy with this video of, that's the problem, is I don't want to, this video about saving your good ideas, I need to save this until I can do it a little differently, until I have more subscribers, until it would see more people. I definitely shouldn't just put it on a live stream that no one will ever watch. But we're doing it because it's the principle of the thing. But as I've thought about it over the past week that I've been thinking about this topic, knowing I was going to do this, I have settled into what I said a minute ago of like, there is so much that doesn't get done because we're saving it. And that arrogance of, well, I'll work on it next year. And I know I've been a little melodramatic with existentialism and with life and death on this channel over the past several videos. But that plays here too, of like, to say, well, I want to do this project, but I'll wait till 2 years from now. That's when I'll be equipped to do it. That's when I'll have the time. That's when my kids won't be as young, and then I'll have more freedom. And it's so arrogant to think that in 2 years you're going to have the time, you're going to have the freedom, the flexibility, the health, that the world's going to be in a spot to give you the space to create it. And so the longer we sit on our good ideas, the more time we waste And then we get to this spot where if we do it with all of our ideas, that either means that the work that we're doing, that we do put out, that the work we do create is second tier work. Because if you're saving your good idea and you're just working on the other ideas, that means that everything that you're doing is your other ideas. And that seems to me like a poisonous attitude and a way to disrespect yourself and say, well, what I'm doing now doesn't matter as much as the one I'm waiting to do, that I may never have the opportunity to do. And so that's what's been motivating me lately. And I've got a handful of videos that I have saved. My camera's slipping. I had forgotten. I lost track of time this evening and came down here and I was like, oh yeah, I put the tripod up and everything. It's all ready to go. And then I got down here with 2 minutes to spare and realized that I left the tripod in the truck. So we're balancing this thing on top of a paint can, a spray paint can drill attachment that shakes those things for me. We've been spray painting a lot around here. But so by saving our good ideas, we're using our second tier ideas and we may never get around to them. But for me, there's been a handful of videos that I have been saving and that I've been writing and rewriting. And when I look back at my own catalog, and there's been probably like 5 videos that I really wrote and produced and did differently and got other people to participate in, like did some real videos. And when I look back, they're insignificant in the catalog. And like videos of why do I have my Jimmy John's order tattooed on my wrist, which I do have. It's a number 9, no tomato, add pep. And I made a video about why I have that tattoo and the story of why one would get a Jimmy John's tattooed on their arm. And I put all this work into it, and that was like 6 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And it got, I think, like 1,000 views, which was pretty substantial for my channel. And yet now I look back and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't wait to do that. I'm glad I did that and moved on. And I've got 2 other big ideas for YouTube videos that I've just been putting off and putting off and putting off. And I'm excited to tackle them for my channel. But beyond that, beyond YouTube, there's been other stuff that I've been excited to try that I've been waiting to have the time, waiting to do stuff. And I've got my kids show that I've been working on editing, and I need to work harder on editing that before that one goes the way of the other good ideas. But I've just been doing little art projects, and I started a series on here that I posted the first video of about creative challenges and just doing something to get you to think a little differently, things that aren't related to the art that you create. And as a video producer, they're things that aren't videos. It's different things. It's drawing. There's a design element. There's music. There's these different simple challenges that don't take more than 5 minutes, but can have a serious impact on what you do and how you do it. And that's my mindset. Like I once again ebbed and flowed where I had like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, like I had stopped posting. I wasn't working on anything for my channel and I was just sort of apathetic to it. And I've gone through this before where I've created, a video every day of the week. And I just am like this craven sense of production and creation. And then there's times where I just don't care. And now I'm swinging back into one of these times of I'm trying so much stuff, I'm doing so much stuff, and it's exciting. And so I'm eager to do these other little projects, and I'm working on this series of little projects to help us be more creative. But then I also have stuff I'm doing beside that, like physical art projects that I've never attempted before, because I thought like that's not my scene. Like I think people would roll their eyes if they saw me try to create something more physical, and is what I'm creating derivative? And yes, it is, and it's inspired very specifically by some things that I've seen. But I'm choosing to frame it as like, do I think that I could do that as well? And the short answer is yes. I just need to tell myself that I can try it and remind myself that by talking myself out of it, it's just yet another thing that I'm not going to do, that I'm not going to learn from. And that's been a lesson for me. And with these projects that I am doing, I think the biggest lesson that I'm learning, in spite of this whole video being about doing it, go, do it with patience. And just because you're having to kick yourself in the pants to begin doesn't mean you need to rush through something. And like I said in the beginning, I've been spray painting a ton. Not with this, but I have a whole bunch of fun colors on the shelf back there. But I've been spray painting, and I did like the space paintings where like you make planets with spray paint. And tons of people have done that, and there's tons of tutorials, and it's a simple thing, but I hadn't done it before, and I did it like 5 times, and I like what I created, but there's mistakes, and a lot of mistakes came from rushing it and from not waiting for things to dry. And there's so many metaphors in there and so many lessons to learn that I wouldn't if I didn't do it. And I think as I consider my good ideas that I've been saving, yeah, they're good ideas. And if I wait on it and never do it, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to learn from it. And having to tell myself that it's worth it, and that the worst case scenario of like I do it poorly versus waiting until I'm more prepared to do it, doing it poorly as the worst case scenario is still better than never doing it. And by doing it and learning from it, we expand our perspective to where we can do more and learn more and experience more, and our art gets better right along with that. And while the critics may have opinions about what work is good and what work is bad, I think music is an easy way to see this, where a lot of people would say like, oh man, that second album was not as good as the band's first album. But I think a lot of times if you ask the artists, I mean, success changes things and may change your perspective on how good some of your work is. But I think many people, as they continue to grow as artists, would look back and say like, yeah, people loved my first album and everyone hated my second album, but I liked my second album and the challenge of it and the songwriting that I did. And as a video producer, that's what I experience nonstop of, yeah, I have things that I've created that are my good ideas, but the best is still on its way. And I still don't know what my best ideas are. And I'm really excited about the big ideas that I'm working on now. But I think more than that, I'm excited about what's beyond that. And just today I was reading, Courage is Calling by Ryan Holiday. And there was the concept of, and I forgot whose metaphor it was that he borrowed it from, and I wish I could attribute it properly, but the idea of climb the second mountain. And by that, he means that when you climb a mountain, you do it for whatever reason you climb a mountain. And you look forward to the challenge of it, to grow, to push yourself, to see what it's like at the top, to have done it, to prove to yourself you've done it. And conquering a mountain is a huge deal. But there's something different about the next mountain, the second mountain, where you have to first climb down from the first mountain. And you may have peaked, and take your metaphor here, if you may have produced a great album and it's super successful, but at a point you have to climb down from there and stop playing those songs and write new ones. And it's that second mountain that has the challenge in it that is exciting and that shows that you've already done it. You know how to climb a mountain. It's a different mountain. And doing it again, you have to do it for different reasons because you've already checked off the boxes in the first one. And so that's where I am, where I'm looking at the mountain in front of me right now. And instead of saying I'm going to wait to climb that mountain until I'm ready, it's just time to climb that mountain, because once I'm at the top, I'll be able to see the next mountain that I want to climb. And I'm never going to see that second mountain if I don't climb the first. That's all I got. If you found this video, if you sat through the replay of this live stream at some other point, thank you. Thank you so much. It means a ton to me that anyone would watch any of these, especially rewatching them, because it's a live stream that isn't live anymore, but I hope it still has value. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it. Have a great day or night or whatever, wherever. See you later. Bye.